Hey, yo, I was talking to my cousin yesterday, and he finally getting it. He's actually finally getting it. Like, Bitcoin is the money. And I was explaining to him, it's really, really deep, bro. But I'm just excited that he's finally getting it, to be honest with you. And I want to tell y'all about these people that keep telling you about zero point 0.1, you'll be good, 0.21, 0.5, or whatever Bitcoin. Oh, you could just retire off that. Most people is trying to retire now. You're not trying to retire in 40 years when Bitcoin hits $43 million a coin, and then you'll have $4 million with 0.1, and you don't even know if $4 million is going to be worth what it is today. So ignore that noise. The point of Bitcoin right now is to stack as much of it as possible. You want to be a mover and shaker in this world, get as much Bitcoin as you can. And obviously, the more you get, the quicker you'll be able to retire. But Bitcoin is the money. And you're going to be a bank for yourself when you own most of the money, right? Or a big portion of the money. And a big portion of the money is like maybe one coin, you know? It might not be like 1% of the whole damn Bitcoin collection like some of these companies are doing. They want to be big in this damn world. So the world is flipping. If Bitcoin is the money and the only money that can be spent coming up soon is going to be Bitcoin, then wouldn't you like to hold as much of that money as possible? See, the concept of you understanding Bitcoin is the money is the hardest part for you to get over, because you never seen any money like this before in your life. You never seen freedom money. This right here is God's money. Some people say gold is God's money because nobody made it, nobody created it, nobody invented it and stuff like that. But really though, if God could make money, Bitcoin would be what it is. I want to tell you about money, right? The money you think about is slave money. United States dollar, slave money. Mexican peso, slave money. Canadian dollar, slave money. Japanese yen, slave money. Chinese yuan, slave money. Because those are plantations that's identifying their slaves. Yeah, you are a citizen of the United States of America, but what does that mean? You can't really do anything without their permission. Yeah, you can thrive and live in a better plantation, like maybe Mexico plantation is not as good as the United States, so people come over from Mexico to try to be in the United States. They're just jumping from one plantation to another. But holding US dollars or holding Mexican pesos or holding like Brazilian dollars or Argentinian pesos or whatever, it signifies to the world who you belong to. See, we belong to the United States and we got the best massa, right? We got the best massa in the world. And we do not understand that we're not free. Bitcoin is freedom money. I don't have to ask permission for anything that I want to do with Bitcoin. If I want to go to China, I go to China. And I take a little bit of that Bitcoin, sell it for the Chinese slave dollar, the Chinese yuan, and I use it in that country. Then I buy my Bitcoin back of what stuff I didn't use, and I go to Australia, and I use my Bitcoin in an Australian country and get an Australian dollar. Bitcoin is freedom money. It's not governed by anybody. Nobody can suppress it. Nobody can stop it. And it's hard for somebody who's never been free, that feels like it's freedom, to recognize true freedom. And our people, we don't recognize that Bitcoin is true freedom because we always had somebody tell us what we can trade with each other. Who can give us value? I'll give you an example. If I own 3 Pokemon cards and you're a Pokemon collector, but you also are a contractor, or you know how to lay concrete or something, right? And these Pokemon cards, you see them as valuable to you. I could give you the 3 Pokemon cards to lay me a concrete slab so I can put a shed up in the back of my yard, right? And you would do that. But I just monetize a Pokemon card and we trade it as value. People look at it like it's the barter system, but it's really not. It's me monetizing a Pokemon card. And what Bitcoin is us monetizing our value in this cryptocurrency, or these 21 million tokens, as the value of the world. just like we monetize gold, just like we use the currency, we monetize that because somebody tell us to do it, like the United States dollar. We can choose what we want to pay people in, and we can choose what we want to accept payment in. We do not have to ask anybody else for permission to accept payment or accept value from another person. And that trick of them telling us we have to ask them is how they rule the world, because they tax you or they print more money, which is a tax of itself. Inflation is a tax. So that's how they control you. So anytime you valuing things in the US dollar, you are accepting control over your life. You may seem free, but you haven't really ever seen freedom.